organizations like MAS, CAMEROONIAN, MANA, as well as many of the local Islamic centers and national relief organizations. So we would like to recognize their presence here as well. The IGNA Convention has always drawn a diverse segment of the Muslim community, which is reflective of the diversity within the American landscape. And this year, in spite of the fact that we had to move it from a long weekend to the Easter weekend, we were able to get your support, and we would like to thank you for your presence and support at the convention this year. For 2018, inshallah, the dates that have been announced for the convention, it will be held on the weekend of April 1st, and we hope that you will grace us with your presence next year as well. Now, for our keynote session, we have a wonderful lineup of speakers, and in spite of this being one of the longer sessions, I'm sure that you will thoroughly enjoy sitting through it. As a gesture of respect towards our speaker, I would like to request that you please turn the ringer on your cell phones off. I would like to invite our first speaker, Sheikh Abdul Rahman Khan, who will be speaking on the topic of what is true success. Sheikh Abdul Rahman Khan is the chairman of the IGNA Sharia Council, and he is a graduate of Medina University from the Department of Sharia. So please join me in welcoming Sheikh Abdul Rahman Khan.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. My dear respected brothers and sisters all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm sure you have all been asked this question before. What do you think success is? Or do you consider yourself successful? Or maybe a judgment has been made about your success or lack thereof. And the answer people give, and if I were to ask you now, I'm sure you have some answers in your mind. It varies considerably, ranging from material possessions, but having a good house, car, money, profession, job, degree, authority, power, position. And we have very many different criteria that we use to determine whether that person is successful or not. But whatever the case is, we do agree on a few things what success should be. That success is a fundamental quest for all human beings. Everybody wants to be successful. That success brings about a peace of mind, freedom from anxiety and worries. So it cannot be something that is momentarily. You can't just be successful one moment and unsuccessful, or feeling of unsuccessful the next moment. It has to be something a lot more lasting for it to be considered a success. And overall, we agree that material possessions by themselves do not really bring about success. And so it shouldn't be surprising why the rich and famous, many of them end their lives in brutal ways. But unfortunately, people see material things as success. And depends on who we are, people decide whether they would be too busy to carry on a conversation with you, or whether they really want to know something more about you. So it is not by coincidence that people ask you when they meet you for the first time, after the usual formalities of pleasure of meeting you, to ask you, what do you do? And what they mean by that is what profession you have, what job you have, what status you are. And when you answer, maybe the next question is where you're from, because where you're from can also give you an idea of that person. Nothing is wrong, by the way, on asking anybody, what do you do and where you're from. Nothing is wrong with that. What is wrong is what we do with the answer when we get the answer. And how do we feel when somebody says, oh, I'm an attorney, I'm a CEO, I'm a doctor, I'm a physician, I'm an engineer, as opposed to when somebody says, I'm a farmer, I am a handyman, I'm a cleaner, I am unemployed. So right away, we start making judgments in our mind that this man is either successful, that I'm talking to, or in our mind, this man is a failure. With that mindset, we would have not had a conversation with Sa'id ibn Amir radiallahu anh, who had one piece of clothing while being a governor of Hims in Syria. Many might have considered him to be unsuccessful, or maybe Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anh. Many people might have said he was unsuccessful if we are looking at material things. On the other hand, Pharaoh, Haman, Qarun, Shaddad would be deemed successful because they had all the wealth that one can think about. In fact, Qarun's wealth was so much that he would make today's billionaire look poor. As Allah says, فَخَرَجَ عَلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ فِي زِينَتِهِ